Hey everyone, AzideMakes here. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you weren't waiting too long on the loading screen. Just kind of trying to get my setup set up how it should be. So if anything's out of place, let me know. I'd really appreciate the feedback. And hopefully you're here to see us do some Fusion 360 work. Now I'm not an expert. I'm probably barely a novice at Fusion 360, but I just kind of want to show off how easy it is to use. I mean, it's straightforward. I would say as far as this kind of thing goes, and we're going to try to do something completely crazy. I haven't tried this before. We're just going to do it from scratch. If you guys have any suggestions or input you want to give me, throw it in the comments. I'd really appreciate it, and we're going to kick this off and go crazy, and hopefully here in the next little bit we can get this going. And I'll queue up my 3D printer, which is printing right now. I don't know how much longer I have on that print. That would be... that's not accurate. I probably don't have a day left. So nevertheless, we'll get this queued up, and for next Thursday, when we do this again, hopefully I can do this on a regular schedule, Thursdays, 6:30. We can take a look at that and start up the next thing. And definitely give me suggestions in the comments there if you have any ideas of what would be cool to design. Maybe something hard, challenging. We'll give it a go. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. Alright, let's fire up Fusion 360. And I think we're set up. Old project I was working on. The rendering in this was really good, but that's not the point of this. Let's get out of here. Make a new project. Okay. And make a new design. We can save that. Alright, and we're ready to go. So I guess probably the first thing we should do is take a look at what we have now, what I'm comparing this to. So let's take a look at the what we have to start off with. So this is what we're starting off with. This is Thingiverse. I will post this. Actually, this is in the description already if you want to take a look at this model. This is a pretty good model, but there's a few design choices right off the bat that I would like to change / improve. For one, I went out and bought the kind of hair clips that it uses for the spring mounts, and it has a pretty tight tolerance on those. So I got some pretty large ones. Let me switch to that real quick. Yeah, alright, right side up. Yeah, you see those are some pretty large ones, and they don't really work with the design. It kind of works, for the most part, but it just doesn't look right. Doesn't have the same aesthetics, and I'd really like that to be rectified. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'd like it to look like that. I mean, that looks cool. It's got the 1950s vibe, so let's do that. Let's do it right. So in order for that, it requires making these little knobs here a little bit bigger for them to attach to. And then one also thing I would like to maybe look into is kind of making 3D printed springs between these. Because right now this is printed in 4 separate parts, 2 fronts, 2 backs. You glue them together and then you add your scrunchies, I think they're called. I don't know. I got weird looks when I bought those at the dollar store. So that's awesome. One additional thing, I like the way this slots onto the middle ring. It just uses like a cylindrical nub with no threading, so you just kind of pop it in there and it's good to go. It's not really going to wobble around too much. But the base is just a flat base. One improvement that someone already requested, James Adonis, is that we add a kind of a screw mount. He uses this same mic in his streaming. Definitely check his channel out. It's pretty great. Game streaming. 7 Days to Die, Space Engineers, that sort of thing. But yeah, a shock mount would be really nice. addition to kind of his setup, because he uses a nice arm already. So the expandability of this design, you could just flip this centering upside down and have your, you know, your logo nice. But yep, so we're gonna try to add a screw mount, just a hole in the base, and around the outside, everything there is pretty good. And we might try to, like I said, add some 3D printed springs, and maybe try to make this so we can print it all in one piece. That would be pretty nice. Don't have to mess with super glue. Just pull it off the print bed. I really don't mind if it takes a whole bunch of support. So yeah, let's kick this right off. Alright, so in Fusion360, there's a few things we need to start. We will need to start off by making a sketch on this back plane. Yep. So, let me back out. If you haven't used Fusion360 before, the interface is pretty nice. Let me get my origin, delete that sketch, we'll start over. So we'll make this new sketch, and it gives us kind of this axes marker. One thing you will have to do when you first set this up, if you're going to use it for 3D printing, is go into... You don't need that. Also, apologies, yeah, if you already know this, but it's good to go through, seeing as this is like the first stream we're doing like this. Where are the settings? There we go, preferences, and right here, default modeling orientation. The default is Y up. We want Z up, because on 3D printers, Z is up. Set that up, and we're good to go. So this is, you know, there's your 3 planes that you can model on. And we'll be using probably all 3 of these to make a nice cool design. But let's start out by looking at this back plane here. So this red line is going to be our 3D printer base, and this green line is, you know, the vertical line. Really just going to use that for our orientation to keep everything lined up. So right off the bat, I don't have any dimensions right now, but I'm just going to start off with sketching. So we're going to roughly sketch this out. And since this is going to be symmetrical, we only need to do half of this. And then we will use this green line and we'll mirror across it. So let's pull this back to the green line. And it snaps on there nice. Okay, so there's kind of the start of the profile. We want to take a look at what we're starting off with. Yeah, get the nice curve there. So from here, we're going to need a nice big circle. Drop a center point, pull it out like so, something like that will work good, I think. And then we can trim that off, just so we don't have... I don't know if that's the best way to do that, but that's how I do it. Just because making an arc can be kind of tricky, I think. Oops. Use... trim. There we go. T. Trim that off. We don't need that. Oh, we don't need that either, really. Cool. And then just connect our arcs here. Don't need to move that. Okay, and we don't need this line here, so we'll delete that. So that's basically our outer outline. Now we'll just take this segment. We'll use the sketch offset. And we're going to offset this inside. Make another line there. Line tool. Connect these lines. Get rid of that. Good. And we'll pull this line over. So we'll go back and dimension all of these later. Go ahead and delete that. And we'll also fix these in relations so that it kind of works nicely there. Yeah, that looks alright. Alright, so there's our outer ring. So right now, let's go ahead and let's assume we're going to use our we're going to 3D design some springs, and we'll throw that on there. So let's go on in and make our inner circle right now, and then we can no, let's do delete that. Let me actually zoom in. Fit window. And zoom out just a little bit. Move that over. Yeah, sorry if you couldn't see that. You can always just yell at me in chat. It should show up on the video feed. We should be able to see that pretty good. So let me know. Alright, back to it. Now we need to make our inner circle. Circle, center diameter circle, and I think that's this, yeah. So we have this circle point here showing up from these two circles, so that works nicely. You can just grab onto that, and that'll automatically fix these two circles together. I think it will also continue to work once we cut this in half. No, it does not actually. As you can see, that's not on the center line anymore. Should have been obvious. But, you know, we're learning. Learning together. That's the way to do it. So we can fix this in post. Not a big deal. So we'll go ahead and I'll just make two circles at the same time. And then make our line. Right through the middle. And then, as you can see right there, we have our relations showing that this is actually fixed on the middle. This is important at this step. You do want it to go right through that so that we can make sure and cut this precisely in half. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but I think that might make this easier later on. So we're going to go ahead and do that while we're here. Oops. Let's trim. We're doing wrong. I can trim that one. I can trim that one. Okay, now we can trim it. I don't know why it did that. If you know, let me know. I don't know. Maybe we know. Alright, so now we have our inner ring. And then this might be a good time to go ahead and maybe model this. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit and kind of fix the relations together. Relations, I believe that's the terminology, constraints is what we use in Fusion360. Relations might be SolidWorks or something, I don't know, or nothing. But we kind of fix these lines together so that basically we want every line to be like precisely defined. Like every angle needs to be constrained, every radius needs to be known, all of these lengths. And you don't actually need to fix every single one of these individually. Like you don't need to know the length of this arc here, if you know the radius and where the radius is in relation to origin. So you only need a few. There's probably some art to that that I don't know at all, so we're not going to go into that. But basically, I just start fixing stuff that I know, and then it'll tell you when it's done. This will all go black, and you'll be ready to go. So let's start off. We have a center line fix, or a center coincident on this, concentric. So these two are good. We need to fix these two. And we select them, add a concentric to, let's do it wrong. Yeah, you fix them in relation to each other. Now I'm doing something wrong. Alright, select those. Like I said, I haven't done this before, so we're gonna figure this out. Let's delete the constraint that's already on it. Delete that constraint. Okay, select the line, concentric to this line, and we got an error. Okay, well that's something. Try revisiting constraints. Okay, delete coincident. Okay, so it had a coincident already. Let's delete the coincidents they have, and let's add new ones. Concentrics to this arc. Alright, let's try something easier first, and maybe it'll snap into line. So we'll take these two and make them collinear. And then we'll take this and this. Ooh, there we go. I'm going to deselect that point and make them parallel. Cool, cool. And then that already has a perpendicular relation. Let's deselect. I don't know if this will work. I'm going to try to make these equal. Nah, I don't want to do that. I don't think that matters. Is that a tangent? No, that's our collinear. That's what we want. So when you fix them, you can just move these out like this, and they'll maintain that relation, and then anything that's not constrained will go ahead and vary to fix that. Now, as we can see, this is obviously constrained because it's not being all weird like this one down here is. So we gotta delete some constraints. Oops. Okay. Okay, I had them fixed. That was the problem, I think. Okay. So let's hit that, hit concentric to this line. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We're learning. Alright. Now let's fix this one. I think green is fixed. So, alright. Alright, so there we have a pretty basic, kind of what we want. Now I don't want this to have this weird hump, so I'm going to make this... I don't want tangency. Coincident, maybe? No, I can't do that. Yeah, tangent doesn't work. I knew that. I am smart. Alright, let's pull this over a bit. That's just a parallel. Let's actually delete that. I have a hunch. And let's go to arc. Center point arc? No, let's do 3-point arc. Let's redo that. Just do it like that. That looks good. That's good enough for now, I think. I think after we mirror, that might be easier to fix that little issue. So now I'm going to delete these 3 lines, which showed a problem. Cool. Okay. Okay. So now everything's, it's in the right orientation relative to the other pieces. So this should make it easier for us to go ahead and add in our spring if we want to do it that way. And then, yeah, it should make it nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is take this and rotate it like that. And then instead of using fit, I'm going to use zoom window and just zoom right in on kind of that center line here. get good and close. And then let's draw us a little spring. When we go in and do the measurements, I like to do the measurements last. I'll go in and we'll get the calipers out and measure this out, or maybe eyeball it until we're ready to do threads and stuff like that, which I've never done. That'll be fun. We'll just kind of eyeball sketch it all out, get our relations right. That way we know it's going to be right once we add the dimensions. Then go in, add our dimensions, and we should be in a good state to have its design work. So we'll get right to that, and let's start the spring sketch. So we're going to create a new, well actually we're still in this sketch, but I need a new sketch. Let's start with, let's make a line. Let's make a, midpoint. Alright, I don't care about that. Parallel line, and then I think you can take this line and make it a construction line. Do we have that? Yes. Alright, so now I have a center line for kind of our curves and stuff. We don't, actually we do need that because the midpoint of this line is not completely parallel with this, so we need to have a fixed line to, or a constrained line to show what we're doing. So let's do an arc. Nope, let's do lines first. Sorry for being weird. Let's do a line there. Do a line here. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like a wide S curve. Back and forth. I don't know how many times. So to make sure that these are all nice and parallel, what I'm going to do is make two lines. And as you see, if you stay on there, you can kind of snap two. Make these two lines. Get it right. That one's not snapping though. Don't matter. Alright, so now we have two lines there. And I'm going to have these all kind of have the same radius. And I'm just going to make this circle part on the ends just tangent. So I don't even need to draw it, really. I can just use the two endpoints and it'll be good to go. What I'm going to do is take these two, and I'm going to use the modify, maybe? No, it's under sketch, I think. Yeah, rectangular pattern, and then just drag down how far we want to go. So we want to go maybe 6.5, no. We don't want to worry about the number right now, because we don't have dimensions in. Let's say 6 maybe? That looks good. That kind of works out. So that'll be 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop, 4 loop, 5 loop, 6 loop to the bottom. Let's do 5. Let's do 6.5. I guess it doesn't matter if we dimension these. We can always come in and edit them later. And it's no big deal. Cool. Alright, so some of these are going to go back across, or go back to the center line. Or across it, actually, because we're not going to mirror this across. So, that's good for this step. Let's zoom in even more. Alright. Hopefully that's still shown up against the background. Let me know if it's not. Just feel free to let me know if you have any comments or anything. I don't take offense. Try to keep it maybe PG-13. I mean, R is really not that bad anymore, is it, huh? Alright, so if you look right there, it'll snap right to tangent. So nice. That's exactly what we want. I said it and you didn't believe me. Alright, here we go. We could have totally done this earlier and then just used the pattern, but it's all good. And then actually, we'll go crossed, fully crossed. Then we're going to come straight back down, so we don't even need these two lines. Get rid of them. No, I guess it's not too important. So we're going to pull this across here. Oh, okay, that mirrors for the rest of them too. Now I would That's interesting. Let's delete that relation. That's not what we want. Let's delete that relation. I guess because these are mirrored? No, it wasn't that. There's a relation I'm not seeing. The mirror relation. We don't need that. Alright, so we can, yep, there we go. Now we can drag these across. Just kind of get them over there. Let's do this one first. L is the line tool, I think. I don't know the hotkeys for this, but that's definitely line. That makes sense. T is trim. That's a pretty easy one. And then we'll take these 2 points and make them horizontal, vertical. Cool. Alright. Now there's probably like a way faster way of doing this that's also better, if you're good, but I'm not, so this is how I do it, and you can do it this way too. It's not bad at all, and if it works, then right off the bat it's going to be kind of parametric, so you can come in here and I can pretty much guarantee we're going to have issues 3D printing this. Something will come up that we didn't anticipate, and we'll have to redo part of this. So it's good to have a parametric where we can just go in and say, oh hey, you know, this radius is slightly too small, I can't make it around there. Oh, dial this up, no problem. Everything else changes in relation, nothing breaks, takes 10 seconds, no problems. So that's what we want. That is the goal. So let's shift these 2, fix them horizontal, vertical 2, whoops. Broke things. Alright, there we go. Okay, we don't want them fixed horizontal and vertical because that's the same place. Oh, that's weird. Why are you not working? Oh, what's up, James Adonis? You didn't miss too much. Actually, you kind of did. I mean, we got pretty far so far. But, it'll be easy to catch up. We've, not gone too crazy far. Cool, those are fixed. Or, constrained. Those are constrained. Part of the reason why this is so easy is, you know, as you can clearly see, that's not good. I don't know what I'm doing, so if I can do this, you can pretty much hop in and be good to go. Just kind of drag and drop. Weird. Oh, that's happening because these aren't fixed to each other. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's add a few more constraints to make this a little bit easier. I'll hit D. Actually, I'll deselect everything. Then I'll hit D, which is dimension. Click both lines, and then set the distance between them. My model here, it looks like it's maybe 8 millimeters, so let's do 10. I'm gonna make this a little more. Actually, I can't make it too much bigger because it's at about the max of my print volume. But I think we can do 10 millimeters. And ooh, yeah, that's bigger than I thought it was. Let's dimension this one to be the same. And then let's zoom out and take a look at this. See what it looks like now. Yeah, so that really changes the dimensions a lot. Let's go ahead and make this outer radius dimensioned as well. And let's go from there to this. Does it automatically. The radius on this is only 48.99. And we're going to do more like 99 for the radius. Yup. So as you can see, like, all of these things are screwy now because they weren't fixed. So we're going to pull this in. Actually, we're not going to do that. Click this one and make it horizontal vertical to that one. Okay. And then this one needs to be horizontal vertical to that one. Okay. And then just dimension this. You can see origin. And our radius is 99. So we need to be 99-ish. Our radius actually needs to be a little bit smaller, so it'll fit on the print bed. So we'll make that 90. And it's starting to come back in the spec. Oh, actually, this is wrecked here, but yeah, we'll fix that in a second. Crazy stuff's happening here. Yeah, so this is the kind of stuff I usually run into. But yeah, it's not too bad, really. We need to make this horizontal vertical with the origin. This, as you can see, those lines, we just went black here. They're fully constrained. They're fully constrained wrong, but as we add more, whoops, it should clean up for us. Vertical, horizontal vertical, this one. And I really don't think it matters which ones you constrain with which other ones, as long as you just do them all. Once it turns black, it's good to go. Alright. Pull that back. Pull that back. Horizontal vertical. Cool. Alright. Let's bring this outer radius in a little bit. And let's take this point out. Yep. That arc's giving me trouble. Let's delete that for now. If you don't like it, throw it away. Let's make the distance between the rings, say 20 millimeters. I need bigger than that, I think. I think for this design, I might print this in two pieces. So the inner rings and such might be one piece, and then I might just make a stand for it to slot into. I think that might work better. So make this horizontal vertical. And let's throw in a couple more lines. Nice. And then this isn't even connected. Now it is! Alright, so now we have an actual sketch. It contains volume, now that we have all our lines connected. But we have some weird sections here because all of this stuff is on just the wrong place. So we'll select all of that, right click on it and do move copy. And you can just move the whole bunch of it up here. It's probably going crazy because there's relations of some sort that it doesn't like. Look at that. Fix my zoom. There we go. It's like frantically trying to recalculate all these relations, and it's not happy about them. So let's just delete all that for now. Alright. This should be better now. I don't know why it's being so stuttery now. Okay, there we go. And let's rotate our view again. Let's zoom in again. Alright. So it looks like we can have a few more curves going with this now. So I'm going to do... This might be a mistake, but we're going to do it anyway. We're here to learn. So this, we can kind of tessellate that. So let me constrain it a little bit more. Take these and make them equal. And then take this one and make it with a midpoint fixed to this line. Which broke some stuff, but that's okay. Let's distance between these two. Nope. Good. We do not want angle. I don't know why I picked that. Oh, they're equal, so we don't need to dimension all of them. We need to dimension this. Give it tangency. This is already tangent. These two are both already tangent. Okay. Oh, goodness. What part that I'm moving? Oh, this little kind of squiggly piece here. So instead of using the bungees, let me switch up my view to... remember... Yeah, there we go. So here's how the mic stand looks now. Is that focus? I don't know why. It's got the scrunchies kind of connected them together. And I kind of want to do that in plastic. Have that 3D printed. So I think that'll be... It won't be too hard to do. Probably. We'll have to kind of get down how narrow we can make them, but we can print pretty thin walls, so shouldn't be too big of a deal. But that's what it's supposed to look like. But I think you missed earlier. I was saying I went to get the scrunchies, and they're too big. Like those are like real fat scrunchies. They don't fit on the pegs. The pegs are really small. So I'm kind of thinking, yeah, just cut it out. This should be fine. And if not, we can 3D print more stuff. We can't really recycle the print yet, but that'd be really nice. Anyway, let me get back to breaking this. Starting to get sweet. Kinda. Maybe. There's like a random point there. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a midpoint, or a center point. Dimension. Alright, let's do it this way. Make the concentric with that one. Cool. Make this one concentric with this one. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. We definitely can't print that narrow. But, you know. Oh, shoot. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, so we have a little bit better now. It's at least actually the right shape. What we did was... Dang it. Rotate again. Zoom in a bit. Alright, here we go. I'm bad about getting lost in here sometimes. Okay, there we go. I don't need that relation, and I don't need this relation yet. I do want these to be a fixed distance apart. Let me delete those equal ones. Make these parallel to each other. Alright, so I was waiting for this to happen. We're over-constrained. We have too many relations. So because these lines are parallel and these endpoints are parallel, I guess because those are highlighted, that's what it's telling us. But it doesn't actually say whatever. We're over-constrained because we have too many things defining the same kind of relationship. So let's delete this constraint. I don't want the endpoints constrained anyway. I think it's going to be easier to reason about if we just use the lines, because they're lines. Being parallel is what they do. I might not even need to define that, actually. Because of the tangency, maybe? Alright, never mind. I don't know what I'm doing. Anywho, let's make this circle and this circle equal. What did it do for us? Give them the same radius. Okay, that's right. And then we're going to make this circle equal this circle. Okay. And then we'll pull these together. And we'll make this line equal this line. And that should make us fully constrained. Nope. Need to make this line tangent to this. Alright, so now this is kind of parametric. Let me also make this line equal to this, which might over-constrain. Nope, just take a second. That might have broken something, I'm not sure. Alright, let's dimension a little bit. Let's make that 5mm, holy crap. Alright, that's not what we want. Let's make this length. It's only 3mm right now. Let's make it 12mm. Okay. Let's make that 1. Alright, that's looking better, looking better. Now these are equal. I would think they would have the same... No, we still have to make them horizontal, vertical with that. Horizontal, vertical with that. Okay. Now we'll still need a radius to constrain these. Hang on a bit. We're off to the races now. I'm going to select all of this geometry here. Move it down a little bit. Can't move it down a little bit. Oh, because I have this midpoint relation, it's using this as the midpoint of this, which is not what we want. So let's delete that constraint. Alright, so that wasn't that. Do need a tangency there. Those are equal. Those are equal. Ah, okay. These aren't connected. So click that one and we'll do coincident with that one. That's what that was earlier. Escape. Nothing doing. Okay, there we go. I have a relation somewhere that I don't want. I'm not quite sure what it is. That is parallel relation. It's an equal relation. I think if I click the center line, midpoint, this, okay, that ties that to the midpoint of the center line, which should work, I think. Okay, yeah, that's more like what I want. Now I can only drag this in certain dimensions, and it's kind of stuttering because it has to like calculate all these angles every time the mouse like goes a millimeter, so. But nevertheless, I think that's gonna work for us. So I like that right there. I think that's gonna be pretty easily. Let's do 2 millimeters. And then let's dimension this line and this line. Make them 2 millimeters apart. So we have like a nice constant width curve. I think that's going to work good for us. I think I can do maybe one more loop there. 2 millimeter might be too wide. Let's do 1.5. Because we do need this to be pretty flexible. We're just going to be printing this in PLA. So it's fairly stiff actually. Probably not going to use the carbon fiber PLA, that might be too stiff. So we now have a fully dimensioned sketch. It's back in black. I also like to move these relations around so that, or measurements around so that they're kind of in the same place and halfway readable. So that looks good. We don't need radiuses or anything like that. So yeah. Then from here, we will go to, we'll want to mirror this pattern again. So sketch, rectangular pattern, and we want to do symmetric because we want to do both directions. And we want to do a total of 3. And then I think that's snapping together. Okay. I think that'll work. We're gonna have to trim this up though. So there we go. Alright. And as you can see, we are fully defined. So what I might do is delete those lines. It gave me an error, but it went away, so I don't know. Maybe it's fine then. The menus don't show up, do they? That's really annoying. Huh. Can I dock this? Huh, even the top of the... That's odd. Yeah, thanks for the heads up. I would not have known. Also, the chat's not turned on for some reason. Yeah, our menus aren't showing up. It's kind of important. Let me look at this real quick. Capturing the cursor. Yeah, monitor works, but it gets all the pop-ups and all that BS. So it's kind of a pain, but yeah, we might have to do that if we're not going to get the menus. We can do that real quick. Capture. Okay, there we go. Move the chat somewhere else too. That works. Okay, that should be better. Thanks for the heads up there. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot better now. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we are mirrored here. Alright, let's do that. And then let's use trim again. Trim that. Trim that. Select these. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot easier with the menus. We'll copy this. No, that didn't work. Shift. Alright. I'm going to take these two. It says 3 selected. Let's get rid of that. 1, 2 selected. We're going to move them down. A bunch. More than that. $19mm, and it's doing move, not copy. How do you do that? Yeah, it's weird how they use... Oh, it was already in move, so that's the problem. It's 3 selected, M is move. Move them right on over here. Over here. Sometimes it's hard to reason about what exactly you need to be doing. Like, why is it doing that? I don't know. Let's select them and move them again. And that time it worked. Whatever, though. Zoom out. Let's actually... not zoom window. Let's zoom fit. And then zoom window. So yeah, our middle part's still constrained here, so that actually makes this a little bit easier. So I'm going to take these two pieces here. I'm going to Control-C, Control-V, which just goes ahead and makes a copy. And being weird again. Just do move this time. Cool. What? Just do move again. Enter. Okay, I just clicked off or did something like that. Alright. So now that is actually connected. Awesome. It's not symmetric on the center line though. I'm not sure if I care about that. But yeah, let's try to fix it real quick. That shouldn't take too long. Famous last words. Move. Oops. Alright, so these aren't fixed together. So let's throw some tendencies in there. Same thing up top. And we should be able to drag these. Yeah, like that. We actually should be able to just link these up here. More or less where we want them. And what relations do these points have? They have that. And these aren't concentric. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Trim that. Whoa, that's crazy. Let's delete that line. Hell with it. L for line. Make this one concentric with this one. I don't know why it's doing that. This one. Well, I do know why. It's over-constrained somehow. Oh, okay, so these points aren't connected to each other yet. It's pretty groovy though, right there, huh? What the heck are we doing here? You know what? Perfect standing me good. Another nice thing about this program, the edit history is forever. Should be showing up. It is not showing up at the bottom because I'm cutting the bottom off, I think. Because this monitor is actually bigger than my other monitor. So let me fix that real quick. Okay, there we go. Chat, put it up here a little bit. Yeah, so we have our mini bar down here at the bottom. So that's good to go. Alright. Now we want to do this. Just going to make these coincident with this bottom line here. And then make them concentric. Cool. Diameter's right. Do the same thing up here. Do that. Make them concentric. And we're not attached. Attach that one. It's weird that it shows up as a closed space if those aren't actually connected. I don't know why it would do that. I find myself frequently like rolling these back, rolling some changes back to see what the problem is. Okay. Making a note real quick. Alright. Trim again. Alright. Now okay, so that made it coincident again. And we want to make this equal to this, which should fix the radius. Take this one and make it coincident to this one. Okay, so these circles aren't concentric, which makes sense because I guess when I did the mirror, none of those relations got copied or anything. So That's kind of annoying. We'll take that one, horizontal vertical with this one. Let it think. Oh, it's thinking. It's really thinking. Okay, I think I'm going to stop this here. We're going to come back to this. We didn't get quite as far as I wanted to, but we're going to follow up with this because I have some more learning to do before I jump into finishing up this project. It was pretty ambitious though. I'm pretty happy with where we got so far, honestly. I've spent a lot of time designing some of my models. It's not the easiest thing for me, because also I have no training and I'm just kind of winging it. But there are a lot of tutorials out there, but kind of breaking out that knowledge just takes a lot of practice. So that's what I'm here for. Let me know if you have any more comments, concerns, questions. Throw it in the description there. If you like this live stream, please come back to the next one. I'm probably going to also have a new one on Saturdays and or maybe Sundays. So be sure to like, subscribe, click the bell if you want to be notified for that. I try to schedule them in advance, so if you're subscribed, you can see, alright, yeah, one's coming up. I know he's going to be on. I don't have to, like, you know, just, oh, there's the pop-up. So, yep. Appreciate you watching, and see you next time.